Hey everyone, it's Mike from Orderflows, and I'm excited to bring you this presentation on the Orderflows Delta footprints. And it's one of the features on the Orderflows Trader software for NT8, and it really takes order flow analysis to a whole nother level. You know, most traders who are into order flow are familiar with the volume footprint chart, which is based on the volume traded on the bid versus the volume traded on the offer in the two-way auction. But there are actually a few derivations of that data that is extremely useful and extremely revealing of what the market is doing at certain times. And like I said, this feature is available on the Orderflows Trader 2.0, which we released a few months ago for NT8. And what really separates the Orderflows Trader software from other software out there is the education that comes with it. You know, I do these regular presentations, and I actually have a weekly live group training session where all the users are invited to come in and, ask their questions and, and just have a discussion about order flow. So I think that's worth actually much more than the software itself, honestly. It's one thing to have expensive software, to analyze the market, but honestly, if you don't know what to look at in the market, it doesn't matter if you have $1 million software program. If you don't know how to use it, then, what's it worth to you? It's worth nothing. And the reason I decided to make this video is because I want to show you that when you have the right trading software and you learn what to look for in the order flow, that you can actually see what's happening in the markets and make solid trading decisions. And what I'll be talking about today is a setup that I call the Delta Tail, and it utilizes the Delta footprints, which you can see on the Orderflows Trader software. But before I begin, a brief disclaimer: this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation to buy or sell a futures contract or make any other type of investment decision. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Alright, so what is a delta footprint? Well, like I said, most people are already familiar with the volume footprint chart, which is, again, the volume traded on the bid versus the volume traded on the offer in the two-way auction. And the delta footprint is similar, and what it is, it's the footprint left by the delta internally in the bar, and it's very revealing to the trader at certain points, and especially at inflection points, where market reversals can occur. Now, there are specific patterns that indicate market direction. Again, I'm going to talk about one of those today. It's what I call the Delta Tail. Now, if you're familiar with a normal volume footprint chart, this is what it looks like. This is the E-mini 5-minute bar chart. And you can see the volume traded on the bid versus the volume traded on the offer, at each price level. Okay, you can see the imbalances and whatnot. Now, the delta footprint, what that is it takes the delta, the difference between the volume traded on the bid versus the volume traded on the offer. And you can go into the settings, go under ladder content. This is the Orderflows Trader software. Now, I don't support the NinjaTrader Orderflows Plus software. This is my software that's available for you. You go to sell text, you change it from bid ask to delta. There's 4 different choices there. And what that's going to do is it's going to change your normal footprint chart into a delta footprint. You can compare it. One of the choices is, if it's just delta, it compares it horizontally. You could actually do delta diagonally, but in this example, I'm going to show you compare it horizontally. And so on the right hand side, you see delta footprint. So just take a look at the first bar, 27 on the top right hand side. So how do you come up with 27? Well, on the normal volume footprint chart, at that price level, 27 lots traded on the bid, 54 traded on the offer. So you're left with 27. 108 versus 80 on the normal volume footprint chart. So you had net, on the net was sold in there. So you had 108, so you're left with net 28 at that price level. 114 minus 55, net minus 59, 67 minus 63, minus 4. Now, I know what you're thinking. You say, well, why aren't you comparing it diagonally? Well, you can. And I said in this example, I'm showing it to you horizontally. So you can change it from delta, where it just said on the setting from delta, you can change it to diagonal. Delta diagonal is another choice. And it's going to, if you do it diagonally, obviously it's going to compare 108 versus 54 as opposed to 27 versus 54 on the footprint chart. So it's that's another presentation for another day. That's something that I'll probably do specifically for my users, to take advantage of the information. And it's quite revealing when you start looking at the imbalances. But what I'm going to talk about today is what I call the delta tails. And what it is what it looks like for a buy and what it looks like for a sell. It's basically, on the buy, it's green candle, all volume traded on the offer side, or the net delta is on the offer side, except for that little bottom part that's traded on what I call the tail. And for a sell, it's a red candle with all the delta on the sell side. That's why it's all negative there, with the little tail on top, the positive delta on the top offer side. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts so you can better understand it here. So okay, so this is, I'll take you through a few charts, different types of charts, really quick, and just show you some examples. I'm going to go back, what day is this? Where am I? August 15, this is August 14, August, so this must be August 13. So we'll just look for these examples of the tail. So basically what I'm looking for, remember, is for a buy, I'm looking for the little tail on the green candle on the bottom, or the tail on the top of a red candle. And let's just take a look here. And in this case, I think you got to be very strict on it. I mean, you could say, well, like, how about a bar where it's just all on one side? Well, yeah, you can, but I mean, to me, those are the more obvious. So here's a tail, a buy tail. You got the -6 here, then it's all positive deltas here. And getting, what's the market going? It's going from 36, going all the way up into the 40, up to 40. What kind of heat are you taking from 36? Maybe down to, what is that, 34 and a quarter, 34 and a half, before it hit up to 36 and started going higher. But so that's, to me, that's a decent trade. I mean, you had a couple stacked imbalance in there as well, which is encouraging. Then on the way down, after you get your swing high up here, or your high of the day, actually, you got a negative delta up there. You got a divergence. Here you got a selling tail, and selling delta tail. And look at that, how it just sold off quite nicely down. Again, I'm just going to show you every day here from, I think that's from the 13th until, it's Sunday night right now. It's actually trade date August 20th. It's about 12:30 at night right now. I'm recording this video. Again, I'm just getting my stuff ready for the week, and I really wanted to get this video out there because I felt that this is good information for for a lot of people. Here's a nice delta tail sell right here. Again, it's a nice little move down again, but this is going right into the cash close as well. Then it turns around and starts rallying up here. This one, it's not really a tail. I mean, you've got two price levels there, but again, I'm trying to be strict here in this example for this trade setup. Anything, nothing. Yeah, you got a couple of 1, 2 here, 1, 2 there, but again, I'm just trying to show it to you with one. Again, you got a 6 here, you got a 3 here. Does that qualify? I'm trying to be strict here and say no. Here's one. You got the 5 lots here, and then it's all negative delta. Here's a nice buy. Oh, this is the one I had on the example, actually -103 on the bottom, then all positive delta. Here's another nice buy here. You got the 97, then all positive delta. Okay, well here's one. Here's a sell. Again, it's August 20th at just after 12:30. We'll see where this market's going to go overnight. If it's going to sell off or what. But it's setting up right now. You got the 88, then you got the all negative delta. Probably nothing's going to happen until Europe comes in, but we'll see. So let's take a look at let's take a look at a 5-minute chart. I'll just scroll back here all the way to the beginning, and let's just see. Again, same setup I'm going to look for. Okay, well this is a buying tail. This one didn't work. Again, that's at 9:40 at night. Here's a sell that didn't work. And honestly, those are the first two that I saw that didn't work. Here's this one didn't qualify because you got the 1, but then you got 14 down in there. This one, again, it's a tail. I expect it to be on top, not in the middle. This one didn't quite make it. You got the 377, but you got that minus 48 there. Again, I'm trying to be very strict on it. Here you go. Got 1, 8:10 in the morning. This was on the 13th, I believe. You got a nice little move up before the cash opened, and then once cash opened, you got the 73. Then it's all negative delta, and this one the market just dropped beautifully after that. I mean, you can look at it from 28.18 down to 28.08 over the next 30 minutes. Most people I know basically, they trade S&Ps, but they trade it during the cash hours anyway. So, those few that didn't work out were, kind of slowed periods. But again, I want you to see how it looks in all time frames. I'm not trying to just pick, certain time frames. This one, again, this is just 4 price levels. So I'm not sure I'd say, yeah, look at this, it worked out. I mean, it's only 4 price levels. I'd like a longer bar. And that's right on the futures close anyway. Nope, that doesn't qualify. This doesn't qualify either. Again, this is not qualifying. Again, I like it to happen on longer bars rather than bars of 3 or 4 price levels. Here you got one here. It's a nice sell. It's a nice buy. Worked its way up. This bar is just, it's all buying. But again, and then it's followed by the bar with the tail right here. And then it just continues working its way up over the next hour. So again, from the, what is that, 28.46 area all the way up to the 28.50 area. Then you got to sell right up here at your high of the day. I love getting signals, at highs of the day. Again, I'm not trying to predict the high of the day. I don't know this is going to be the high of the day until it prints. But then when it hits that, I'm at the high. And obviously I got a divergence and a ratio in the next bar. But more importantly, I got that tail right there. That's a terrific low risk trading opportunity right there, because it's, it's markets find an inflection point and it starts selling off. It's funny, my wife says I sound like I slur my words sometimes, but honestly, when I record a lot of these videos, I sort of do these on the fly, and I do them late at night or early in the morning. So that's why sometimes it sounds like, honestly, I think I sound like I'm a drunk sometimes, but honestly, I'm really not. I don't drink. This one didn't work out. I mean, this one, again, is right on the futures close here, and then the reopen. This was a sell that just sort of went sideways on you. But again, it's a sell. Let's go back here. Look at the time. It was a sell that went sideways on you, but at what time? It's 6 p.m. at night. Okay, sort of go forward here really quick. Anything, Bueller? No, that's just all sells. I mean, you can also take all sells or all buys, but again, I'm looking for the one with the tails. This one, you got that one volume in here. So it's, you got the tail, but then you got that other 153 in there, so it doesn't qualify. This one, yeah, I would, I would qualify that. This one, does it work out? No. Here's a sell here. Just sort of works its way sideways, doesn't really sell off. Maybe you could have scalped the point out of it. This sell doesn't work out, but you'd probably already be short from here anyway, waiting for it to work out. But it comes right back, even if you got short here, it comes right back with this beautiful buy. Man, imagine you're getting long in here, 28.43, and look at that, up 10 points. Although if you remember Friday, we did get that big rally in the S&Ps right at 1 o'clock. Then you got to sell here, at 2 o'clock. You got the tail, 356, and a nice sell-off. And again, now in the evening session on the 5-minute chart, up here at 28.54.5, you got the sell. Well, you'd be selling it somewhere around 53.5 actually. Did it go lower? Yeah, it sort of went lower down into the 51s, but just sort of hanging around, going sideways, sideways, sideways. Then you got the other sell coming in here, right before midnight, and it just sort of takes us to where we are at at 50 3/4. Go back to that 8-range chart real quick. So you can see, it's. Let me ask you this, right? I mean, I don't know how many trading screens you have. I know I've got 4 screens. I got 28-inch monitors now, and is it worth having? So you can buy an extra screen. You can actually buy. You can actually go to like some pawn shops. I've been to some of these pawn shops, and they're selling computer monitors there for like $20. Because before, when I was adding monitors, that's where I would buy my monitors from. I'd just go down to the pawn shop, and I could buy a 23-inch monitor for like $20. And like sometimes if you're buying 2, you could say, hey, give me a better deal. But is it worth? Ask yourself, is it worth just throwing an extra monitor up and throwing a chart like this up on your screen for finding these types of trades? When they occur. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's worth it, honestly. And again, this is a piece of information that's available to everybody. How many people are looking at it? I mean, imagine how many traders are out there. Okay, they all look at bar charts, right? This information is not going to be available on a normal bar chart. And then you start breaking it down. Well, how many people look at order flow? Overwhelming majority, 95, 98% of the people out there look at the normal chart. Here, I'll show you. What they look at is this. Where is it here? Delta. So this is your choices: bid ask, delta, volume, diagonal, delta. Majority of people, they look at the bid ask delta. That's your normal volume footprint chart, right? That's this chart here with your normal. And there's nothing wrong with that. I look at that too, and but I also keep the other screens open, for specifically to find instances where I see these setups. Now, there are other certain patterns I like to look for in the delta, on the delta footprint charts, but I just really want you to see what else is out there. And again, imagine I just showed you an 8-range chart. I showed you a 5-minute chart, and so it's not like, well, it only works on certain markets and certain time frames. No, let's take a look at some other charts here real quick. Then let's go back here. I don't know, what am I looking at here? Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude's in the middle of the roll right now. Well, you should be in October crude now, but anyway, let's just scroll back. Let's see if that same pattern is going to be appearing in here. Okay, well, this one again is borderline. I mean, you do have the tail here, minus 18. You don't have you got an empty volume level in here. Okay, it's fine. This one didn't work out, but again, this is the one you'd rather take. You got to take it in context. what do you think is going to be more effective after this nice little sell-off? This one here, 12, and then all selling. Yeah, I would take that. This one, yeah, I would also take that. This one, you should already be long up here, not looking to get long up here because you had, the buying opportunity lower. Okay, well, that was all that was in crude. That was on the 8 range. Going back a couple days. Let's take a look at Euro currency then real quick. Also 8 range. We only got 3 days of data coming up on this. So here, right here, look at this. Low of the day. You got your tail, -9, all buying. What happens? Market rallies. Here's a buy. Here's this is not a buy. Rather, I was going to say it's a sell, or it's not a sell. This is what you want to see, but you want to see it on a green candle, not a red candle, and that's important. Okay, because what's happening here is the market was rallying, and then it sold off. That's why you got the volume that's traded there. It makes a big difference if it's on a green candle or for a red candle. Again, I'm not looking to buy a red candle. I'm never looking to buy a red candle. People always say, why do you only buy green candles? It's because I want to buy when the market's moving in my direction. Okay, I don't want to be buying when the market's selling off. I want price to start moving in the direction I'm trading. Okay, because there's a lot of times that you think you can try and pick a low, but you're not. You can be buying it at 28, and the next thing you know it's trading 26, and you try buying 26s. The next thing you know it's trading 24s. That's not that's a recipe for disaster. Again, and that sort of comes down to people kind of wanting to try and buy the low or pick a low. I don't like to do that. I like to let the market take me into the market. So if I'm looking to buy, I want price to be going up, and if I'm looking to sell, I want price to be going down, not in the opposite. Almost had a buy here, but not quite. Almost had one here, but not quite. You got that -9 here, just as you got the -19 up there. Almost a tail. I mean, you got the tail, but then you just got that other volume in there. Again, I'm trying to be strict here for this video, because I think you can be strict on this. You don't have to think, because once you start handicapping and say, well, oh, it got the tail here, you got the -2, then you got the -24 in here, I can take it. Okay, yeah, it might work. It might work quite often, but you're starting to deviate from your trading plan. This was Friday afternoon after 2 o'clock, about 2:15. So it was a sell. It didn't work out, just went sideways on you. Then you're going to close for the weekend again. I probably wouldn't take this trade because it's Friday afternoon at 2 in the afternoon Chicago time. Cash markets are closed already around the world, and everyone's getting ready for the weekend. So that's it. So that's crude oil, that's euro currencies, that's e-minis. I think that's enough markets to convince you of the value of looking at a delta footprint. Hopefully you'll see the value in it. So thanks for watching this video. And again, for the users of my software, I'm going to be doing, I'll be talking about this more in the weekly group training session. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. So have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.